All right. So let's see your views, products. So I've seen your error already now. See, I don't even need to go far to see your error. The name of your app
Mm.
is iPhone, Abby,
Okay.
and inside your templates folder,
Yes.
you called it what? iPhone. Inside templates, the folder
Yeah.
name is iPhone, right?
I
Yes.
can hear
So
you very well.
let me mute Victor so you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure.
I said you called your app iPhone. I remember the syntax is inside the app, you create a folder called templates. Then inside templates, create
Okay.
another folder called the name of your app, which is iPhone. That part is clear, Abby.
Okay.
So in this
Yeah,
line
sure.
six, that place that is products. Products is does not. If you look at your app, there's no product there. If you look at your project name is Apple, your app name is iPhone. So where's product coming from? So that means product is supposed to be the name of your app, which is iPhone. So in line six, it should be iPhone
Look at
slash.
this.
That is
Look
the
at
name of
this.
your model.
Okay.
Product is the name of your model. In line six, the syntax is app name slash the name of the template. Line six is where the error is. After requests, you're telling me to go to product folder, then to find a template called all products. Whereas it's supposed to be the iPhone folder.
This.
Yes. Look at your structure. Let's try and understand. Look at what you have. Inside
Mm.
templates, you created a folder called iPhone. Abby?
Okay.
So it's that folder name you put here, then the file name is all products, and that's why you're putting all products. So it's folder name slash file name. So that's why it's iPhone slash all products.html.
Hmm.
So reload your browser. Let's see if we're correct. Let's write to work. You don't need to change this. This is anything you put inside string can be anything you want. It's only when you're calling in templates you are going to put the file path. So if the file path is wrong, to tell you I'm looking for a folder called products and I can't find it. That's why you're getting that error. Before you were it was checking for all product.html inside a folder called products. Whereas you don't have any folder called product. The name of the folder is iPhone. So there's no way to work. So now that it's iPhone, I want you to reload your server. Let's check and make sure this template is working. So reload your server for me. All right, so your server is working, it's running. Then reload this template. Let's see if it's working. So you see
All
it's
right.
working. Why? Because
Yeah.
it can now find where the path you put is correct. It's now seeing where it should go to find a particular
Okay.
template. So that's settled.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So down to today's business. So ideally we should get started on APIs today, but we have something that spilled over from yesterday. So we'll quickly run through that, then get introduced to APIs. Then if possible, we'll do an example on APIs. If not, we just do a spilled over and get introduced to APIs, then pick up from example next week. So let's get started. Before we start, how many of us are coding along? I know Adija doesn't have a problem with lights. STC, are you coding along?
So we have lights today.
All right. Oladimeji, do you have lights in your side?
Of course.
Okay, yes, students, hostel. Victor, how about you? Is there light in your house?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so everybody's
Yes,
coding.
sir.
All right, no problem. So let me share my screen. All right, so we all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so yesterday we learned there are 4 ways to extend Django's user model. And of the 4, I said for this week we're going to treat 3. Yesterday we treated 2. So today we want to treat 1 more. And this 1 more is abstract base user. Yesterday we treated the one-to-one linking. That's why we created our profile model. Then we also treated abstract user. Today we want to treat abstract base user. So meaning you're going to define the model from scratch. You're not taking anything from Django. You're going to define everything by yourself. So let's get started. So cd into any file path of your choice. Make directory. I think we called the user model yesterday. So I can call this, okay, then we call the second example user model 2. So you can call this one user model 3. Yesterday we created a folder user model for the first example. Then we created user model 2 for the second example. This is the third example. So now I'm using user model 3. And I seed into it. So please be careful of your structure, like the mention. Remember you made that mistake yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah. So remember, make your directory seed into it. Create a virtual environment. Alright. So Django. Let's start my project. So you can still call the projects, then the app name users. Or if you want just you can use any name of your choice. Yeah, so that's true. There's another way of creating or starting a Django app. We're used to Django admin start app, the name of the app. You can also try this command. Python manage.py start app users. It's not a must to use it. It's the exact same thing with Django admin start app. I'm just saying this in case you watch a tutorial or maybe as you're watching a YouTube video or reading an article. This is the format the person used. It's not wrong and it's not different from what you've been doing. It's just another way of doing the same thing. So I think the easier one is Django admin start app. Because you already used to start project and you know start app. But you can also have this at the back of your mind that this is also possible. So Python mind.py start app, the name of your app. That will also create an app for it. It's just another command. So then code docs. So once everyone is on VS Code, please let me know so we can move forward. Once you're done setting up your file structure,
What is the name of the folder?
folder is user model 3. Project name is project, app name
Project,
users.
okay. Users. Okay. Mhm.
Are you here?
Project. Users.
SCT, are you here? Have you set up finished?
Yes, sir.
All right, Victor, can we move on? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm done, sir.
All right. So, in setting up your own model, you have to define. So, in setting up your model, you have to define the model, number one. Remember, we're starting from scratch. You're not inheriting anything from Django. So, Django is not helping you to do anything. So, every user model, you first of all define the model. That's the first thing. Then you define a manager for the model. The manager is the thing that holds all those methods, all those dots, creates user, creates super user. It's because the manager class exists. That's why those things are able to work. We are not the ones that created user or object that creates user. That user is a function, it's a method that Django has by itself. That's why it has been working for us. Python might apply create super user. All those commands were not hard coded by us, they came by default. So now we want to define everything by ourselves. So you need to create a user model. For the sake of time and pass, I already pushed the code to GitHub. So I'll just get the code, share with us. Let me check my repositories. Yeah, backend products. Alright. So I can send the link if you want to check out the repository later. Not now, just later. I'll share it at the end of the class. So this is, if you can see my screen, there are three different folders here in case you want to review it. The very first one is this OCO one-to-one. This is the first one we did yesterday, first example. Then we did this abstract user 2 yesterday. So this for today's class. All the code we're going to use is already on GitHub. So if you go to my page, you can download it, clone it, and do whatever you want to do. So I want to quickly get us the user model. So this is the model. So we need to send it on WhatsApp. So I've sent the user model on WhatsApp. I also share it on the Zoom chat. So please check WhatsApp. I've sent the user model. So just copy and paste. Then for those of us that will have indentation issues, sort out the indentation. If you need my help, please let me know. So please copy and paste what I send on WhatsApp in your models or PYFAM. Then we'll go through it together. Have you done that? Am I good to go?
The feature, is it double underscore or single underscore?
Double.
Okay. This one here is single.
Alright, so if we're done copying and pasting, just pay close attention to the user model. So I'll go through it line by line. So the first thing is to define your model, and we know we use the keyword class. So we're creating a model called user. Now, yesterday our user inherited from abstract user. So if you heard from abstract user, it means you like all those fields that Django has already, the email, the first name, the last name, you're okay with them. You just want to add some things to it. That's abstract user. But today's own, if you notice, this is abstract base user. So this is saying you want to define your own from the base, from the bottom. You want to do everything by yourself. That's how I'm getting from abstract base user. All right, that's just this first line. Then if I click on this permissions mixing, you don't need to click on it. This permissions mixing is telling this model that people should be able to apply permissions to you, to the groups you have. That's why I showed us that brief example yesterday when Oladimeji asked what's the essence of groups. The presence of this permission mixing means it's possible we're going to have different type of users. So I might create some permissions later. So if you see what I mean by it says it adds the field and methods necessary for it.
Your voice is not audible.
Can you hear me loudly and clearly?
Like as if you are far away.
No, I'm not far away. My mic is directly on my mouth. Can you hear me clearly now?
No.
Should be network, right? One piece is on the Is there any other person in the complaint? Adijas, can you hear me properly?
It is okay now.
Alright, so should be network because I didn't move or anything. So the abstract base user, the first import tells Django that you want to define everything from scratch by yourself. This second one allows you to add permissions to certain groups. So meaning if I implement this user model, I can create different type of groups for users. So like I said, in a banking system, I'll create a group for customer care, I'll create a group for security, I'll create a group for receptionist, for teller, for manager. Now each group will have their permissions. What are those things they're allowed to do? So this is the guy that makes it possible. So you're adding this guy to tell you that in this my user class, so I want to add groups and permissions later. So because of the presence of this guy, that is achievable. Now, these are things we're used to, the fields we want every user to have, the attributes. So every user should have an email. Now, there's an argument I added here, unique equals true. Unique equals true means there cannot be duplicates. That's meaning of unique equals true. So any field that you're building a project for and you don't want that field to have duplicates. For example, you want to keep track of maybe someone's NIN or BVN or email. Two people can't have the same email. So that's why I'm adding unique equals true. So that means if someone wants to register as a user and the person types in an email that exists, because I have unique equals true, Django will catch that error and tell that person this username is already taken. This is what happened to Adijat yesterday when she was trying to sign up with Triple A95 as a super user and she had already created an account. It's because in the back end, in Django's default user model, in the username field, there is a unique equals true. So that's why two people cannot have the same email or username because they've implemented unique equals true. So if you don't want people to have the same phone number in the system, all you need to do is to add unique equals true. So this guy will catch it upon sign up. So even when you're trying to sign up, once you check the database, this number is already there. It will tell you that this number already exists. Please look for a new number. Then we have our normal field, first name, the character field, last name, character field, dates joined. You can see auto now add. That means Django is the one keeping track of the date and time the person joined automatically. That's mean of auto now add. Is the person active? So for an account to be able to log in, it must be active. So by default, we are saying once you are created, your account is already active. True. So this is the default. Is the person a staff? Now, staff users are allowed to log into the admin panel, but they cannot touch, they can only see. So today we can, instead of we can create a super user, then also create a staff user. Then you see the difference. Super user will be able to see, touch, edit, but staff user can only see. So this is for customer care in the bank. You give them your details, they can see how much is your account balance, they'll tell you your last transaction, but they cannot touch. But there is someone that can see, can touch, can do and undo. So everything is about hierarchy. Then we have the super user. So by default, You can't just, once you create an account, the person should not have a super user. The person should not be a staff. You should just be active, meaning you can log in, you're a regular user. Then I've also put a field for their avatar, like their profile picture or something. Okay. Now, line 22 is calling something called a manager. I'll show you the manager as the PY5 after this explanation. The manager is what enables us, or the manager is where you write all the methods you want this user model to apply that to. So basically, all those things like create user, create super user, all those methods you want to use, you put them in your manager. So your manager is where you store all those methods that want to be applied to your model. Now, this 24 and 25 is the beauty of everything. This username field is where you specify what you want to use and log in alongside password. I'll say that again. Line 24, this username field, this specifies what you want to use to log in customers or users. In this example, we're using email. So we're used to using username and password. But for this project, you can see with just this guy, username field, this I specify I want to use email. Password is already there by default. You must write a field and password. So password is a default. So anything I write, if I write username, it means username and password to log in. I don't need to write password because it's already there by default. Any system you are building, you must sign in with password. The only thing that changes is the field you want to put before the password. So if it's username I want to use, I'll put username here. If it's email I want to use, I'll use email. Now, required fields are fields you want to make compulsory. So if I add another field, this is just explanation. If I add another, my boss says, please add a field called phone number. Phone number equals models dot. Phone number can be character field. Then I'll give it max length of 11. I think phone number is 11 digits. Now, if I want to make sure that this phone number is compulsory once you're signing up, I will add it to this required field. So if I add it here, it means even when you're being created as a super user, it will ask you to add phone number. I'm just showing you how to make a field compulsory for everybody. So this is required field. By default, your email, the thing you're using for authentication, is already in the required field by default. So as this thing is empty, just know that my email and password, they're already there by default. But any other field that you're not using to log in, but you want to make it compulsory, please, you add it here, required fields. Let me zoom in. So you add it here, required fields. All right, so let me remove this guy. So this is how you define an abstract-based user model. So please, in this your users app, let's create a file called managers. You can see I'm already importing from it. So please, let's create a file called managers. So managers.py. Please, in your users app, create a file called managers. So managers.py. In your managers, in your users app, please create a file called managers.py. Then let me go and get the content of putting inside. Okay.
Please paste it on the WhatsApp group
I've done
so we
that
can
already.
go back to it during the week.
It's there, yeah, it's on WhatsApp, it's on Zoom chat.
Please, I have a question.
All right.
Let's go to your model.py.
Okay.
Why putting why do you even put the string, the email address, the first name, the last name inside the string again, inside the brackets?
All right. Very
Why
nice
putting
question.
it inside string?
All right. So this is a user class or a user model, and there's something called translations in database management. Now, this name I'm putting inside is what I want to call it in the database. So what I mean is this place now that is email in the database table, I want it to be email address. This place that is first underscore name. In Python, we don't write separate words like this. You can see string errors
I
like
know,
this.
I know. Yes, I know.
But once in the database, it should appear as in the table, which can be first space name. So this is like an alias to first name. Do you get? I'm saying when I see this guy too, they should recognize that it's this guy I'm talking about. Do you get?
Okay.
So that's just what's happening.
Like you are redefining your data.
Redefining my data. So saying if you also see this one, no, it's this guy I'm also talking about. I'm redefining it. Thank you. That's good. All right. So I believe we posted the content. We pasted the content of the user manager class. Okay. So everything you're seeing here is generic in the sense that you can always go online and get exactly what I have here, but you just need to understand how to work with it. So if you look at this example, this is a method called def underscore create user. Okay, and what this guy is doing is first of all to check is built to accept email and password, as these are the two compulsory fields upon sign up. These guys are compulsory. You must put them. Okay. So now it's saying if the person does not put email, throw this error to the customer saying or to the user that the given email must be set. You must set the email. Now that is only if there is no email. That's this condition. If there's not any email, raise this error. But if there's an email, first of all, normalize that email. So what we mean by normalize is changing something to a particular format. If you see now that I'm moving over it, it says normalize the email address by lowercasing the domain part of it. So let's assume now I'm working for a company called Tech Oga and it's capital letter T, and I have an official mail called prosper@techoga.com. Now, normalization is going to remove that capital letter T and store everything as small letter. That's what is happening here. I'm just normalizing the email. The reason is data retrieval with uppercase characters takes more time. Do we get? So first of all, just convert everything to lowercase. It's easier for a computer to search like that. Okay. So I've normalized the email. Then what am I doing next? I'm now creating a user using that email and any extra field the person sets. Where are those extra fields coming from? This is the models. They are not compulsory, but if the person had time to put first name, last name, fine and good. Help me create using those extra fields. Remember, the two fields that are compulsory is email and password. Those are the default things that are compulsory. But if you want to add any other field, you come here and add it. So that's why here it's just email. Now the question is why are we not putting password here straight? Why did I not do email equals email, then password equals password before extra fields? As a backend engineer, you should never store passwords in plain formats. Any day you try it and a hacker gets access to your system, trust me, all customers in your system are compromised. All of them are like the person can do and undo. So the first thing I'm doing is, I've created the user. So I've initiated the user. User is supposed to serve the model. Email is supposed to email. Then extra fields. What this extra fields is doing is checking if the person sets first name, do first name is equals to first name. Person set last name is equals to last name. Then I'm handling the password in line 14. User.set password. What the set password is doing is it is encrypting the password the person typed. Remember yesterday when we created the user from the admin panel? I think that was Adija that did that. Then we saw after creating, saw how the password looked. It was not plain English again. This is the small guy that is in charge of it. He's setting the password. Now, when in the process of setting the password, it is encrypting it. It is turning it into a form that is not human readable. Never save your passwords plain, please. Okay. So after encrypting the password, I'm now saving that user's information. That is what is going on. So first things first, check for the email. Is it valid? If it's not valid, or if the person not pass it, return this error. If it's valid, first thing, please change it into small case letters. If the person has put as capital letter something, change everything to small case for me, please. After that, create the user for me using the email. But if the person also sets other fields, please, why not help me unpack those extra fields? Help me add them to that user. Now, after I've created the user, I want to now do his password. I need to set his password. The essence of this set password keyword or function is to encrypt the password so it's not stored as plain text. So now I've created the user, I've encrypted his password. The next valid thing is to save. Then I return the user. This is how the create user will be using since. We're just seeing it by ourselves now. This is what Django has had at the back since. That will be able to create the user since. This is just the code that is working on the line. So like I said, the code is readily available on the web. If you go online, create or extend Django user model using abstract based user, everything you're seeing on my screen is what you come out, copy and paste. But it's necessary to know what is doing what and how to customize it to your own. That's why I'm going through this pain of explaining. So that's just what's happening. Now, if I scroll down, if you look at this create super user, it's doing the exact same thing, collecting email, password, and extra field. The same thing create user is doing. The difference now is okay, set a default. If the person is actually creating super user, let this super user be equals to true. Naturally, whenever you create an account, super user is false, meaning you're not a super user. But I'm saying if somebody goes to create super user, so if you type python.py create super user, this is the underlying code that will now make super user should not be true. That is what this code is doing. It's just adding that super user status to this create user. So that user that was ordinary before, the moment we go to create super user, it will add a super user equals to true for that person. That is what this manager class is doing. This is the code that has been working for us since. I'm just explaining it to us. So now you've defined your models, you've imported your manager. The last thing, and for me, is the most important step, because if you forget it, Django is going to migrate using its own user model because it did not tell you that you have changed. Whenever you define your own user model, please never forget. Whenever you do something new or is customized, please go to your settings. Your settings, this is your configuration for everything. So you've not yet registered our app, so please register your app in your settings.py file. Register your app in your settings.py file. Then what's the next thing we need to do? What's that setting we need to do to tell Django which one is our user model? Who remembers? There's a setting we did yesterday to tell Django which user model we should use. Who wants to help us out? STC, Adijat, Victor.
Auth user model.
All right, thank you, language. Is equals to what?
Users.user, but the second one should be capital letter, the beginning of the user for them.
All right, thank you. So with this setting, remember Victor, you asked me about it. That's why I wrote that comment yesterday. This tells or specifies the user model Django should use. That's what I'm doing in line 43. I have specified the user model Django should use. So Django now is going to see that, oh, we have our own now. Then because we've set username field to email, you will now see that to log in, we'll now be using email and password, which is what most systems today use. So please, if you've registered your app and you've typed what user model goes to small letter users, your app name dot your model name. Let's try and make migrations, then migrate. So Python manage.py, make migrations. So try it. Python manage.py, make migrations. So I'm getting an error. Who wants to help me out?
Wait, install Pillow.
All right. What does Pillow do?
Wait, oh. Let me look at the model. Because I'm not. Wait.
Look at the avatar field, the last field.
Okay.
It's an
Upload
image
to.
field.
Okay.
It's an
Okay.
image field. So anything
Image
that has
field.
image, you must install Pillow. Pillow is the package that handles image. So please install Pillow. Pillow is the package that handles image delivery Django. So please, whenever I work with images, you have to install Pillow. So pip install the P of the Pillow is capital letter. Pip install Pillow. That is the package that will help us to handle image in Django. So pip space install space capital letter P then ILLOW. So pip install Pillow. Adija, are you with us on the call?
So can you go back to your settings.py?
Okay. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Adija is not here again. So if you're done installing Pillow, try and make migrations again one more time.
Mr. Prosper.
Yeah.
Wait, oh. This thing is telling me that Python is not recognized as an internal or external command.
Is your virtual environment activated?
Yes.
All right. So let me try and make migrations again. So I've made migrations, then I'll try and migrate, then I'll come and sort you out. SCT, did you experience any issues?
So,
I have issues. I have issues also.
All right. So I'll start with that image. Let me stop sharing. SCT, did you have any issues making migrations or migrating?
no, sir, no, sir.
All right. So that means you please your screen. All right. No, now see spelling of the Python now. And that means it's the spelling of the Python. Made a mistake. Python.
Okay.
Mistakenly type something else. All right. So that's your issue. Victor, please share your screen.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So take me to your models of PY file. All right. So it's saying that line. So let's go to your command prompt. Let's understand how to read errors. Go to your command prompt. So Victor, read that error and tell me what you understand from it. That's syntax error. Read what it's saying to you. That last line. See, syntax error. Can you see syntax error from something or something? What is telling you?
Yes.
Yeah, read it and tell me
Fro-
what it means to you.
From
Must
From
occur
future, yeah,
at the
from
beginning of the
future.
file. Wow.
from future imports must occur at the beginning of the file.
What does it mean to you?
Like is it okay, from future
You have to
imports
put,
must
okay,
occur
you
at
have
the
to put it
beginning
at
of
the
the file.
beginning.
So Victor, do you get the English? Do you get what it's trying to tell you?
From the import must occur at the beginning. Okay, yes.
It's saying that, bro, I must be line one. You understand? Should be
Yes,
at the
like
beginning. So remove line one.
yes.
Yeah. So that's what it's. Please try to always. It's good to learn how to debug by yourself, especially now that I'm here, because if I'm like when you guys are done with class and oh, you understand, it's you against the world. So the better you start knowing what these things are saying, the meaning. So move it to number one. So put your cursor there, yeah, black space. Nice. Then click on that beside that here. No, beside that one, you see that arrow greater than sign. Click on it. So I'll your code will show. Yes. Okay. So now please make migrations and migrate. So go to your command prompts. Okay. Python and apply make migrations. Enter. All right. Okay. So you forgot to register your user's app in your settings.py. So please go to your settings.py. Remember, when you create an app, you have to register it. Settings.py. Yes.
I registered this already.
Okay. It's here now. Users.apps.users.config. Yes, that's correct. So break out of your command prompts. Try it again, please.
Okay, I think I see the mistakes. It's like yeah, users.user.
Let me see.
There is no S. You don't need to
Yes.
put S. Sure.
Okay, there's no S.
No, there's S
Mhm.
now. The name of your app is users. The syntax is app name. Your app name is users with an S.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So install Pillow. It's telling you that there's no Pillow and you want to work with images. So you have to install Pillow. Yeah. So after this, try and make migrations again, then migrate. So those of us that have done this step, Oladimiji and SCC, please try and create a super user. Try and create a super user. So
Why is
please,
it doing this?
yeah, please scroll up small. Let me see where the error is coming from. Just scroll up gently. Small again. Did you do make migrations? Scroll up again, let me see. And you've not done make migrations now.
No, I've done make migrations already. This is it.
And it returned an error that you should install Pillow. So after
Okay,
installing Pillow,
I'll make migration like that again.
yes, it did not go through. It was saying you've not yet installed something. So make migrations. Python and apply make migrations. Allow me to ICT, please create a super user. Then try and log into the admin. Then tell me what you noticed. All right. So Victor, you've made migration. Now migrate.
So my command prompt is throwing an error.
All right. What error are you getting?
Attribute error. It said user manager object add new attributes create user.
All right. I'm coming. So create a super user, Victor. Python manage py. Create superuser. So mine has created successfully. So I'll come here, I'll check what's up. Let me see if it goes on. Yeah. Then your password. All right. Second password.
I should run my server.
Yes, run your server. So STT, you can see Victor's one went through. So let me see yours. So Victor, run your server, then go to your admin panel. That 127/admin on your browser. Then tell me what you noticed there. Yeah, so go to that place on your browser. You can stop sharing. STT, please share your screen. Oladmi, did you have any issue with superuser creation?
Not for now. Not for now.
I didn't get that. What did you say, please?
I actually want to I want to log in through the Django. This thing is not called it's not going.
Okay. So it's saying line 28. That's what it's complaining of in your code. STT. So let me see. Okay, so in line 6, the create user, the first one is supposed to have underscore before the create user. Before the create user, line 6. Yeah, underscore. Then please try it again. Try and create superuser again.
This thing is asking for the email address and I wasn't reading.
Thank you. So that's it. So remember now we specified username field as email. Do you get? So it's no longer using that username
Yes.
and password. So now this is how you achieve that thing. So your username field now, if you had a phone number field, if you put username field as phone number, you need to use phone number and password. So STT, carry on. I'm looking at your screen. All right. So please run server, then try and log into the admin panel. So that means have you logged in successfully? Did it work?
I'm not be able to log into my admin panel.
Even after putting email address?
You
Yes,
put your email address.
I put it. It's not logging in.
Victor, have you logged in?
No, I can't.
All right. Let me check.
Okay, it's telling me to enter email address.
Yeah. So put your email address. All right. So STT, try and log into. So we're noticing we can't log in, Abby.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Are you putting us on him?
All right.
You're doing this on purpose.
Let's see why we can't log in, guys. So please go to your VS Code. STT will use your screen as the study. So please continue sharing your screen. So please go to your db.sqlite3. In your VS Code, everybody look at that db.sqlite3.
Okay,
Second to the last. Right click on it. Right click on that.
Okay, the database, Abby.
Yes, click on open database. Then if you scroll, if you look at the bottom,
SQLite Explorer.
Exactly. Look at the bottom of your VS Code. You see SQLite Explorer. Click on the database drop down. Then you see users, user table. Scroll down to where you users, user.
Okay, this one.
Okay, that's it.
Yes. Right click on it and click on show table.
Right.
Yeah, and click on show table.
Open anyway.
Can you see show table or something? STT, right click again. All right. Thank you. So STT, I want you to scroll, just gently scroll. So if you notice, your password is encrypted already, right?
Yes.
Your last login is nothing because you've not actually logged into the admin panel successfully. There's no yet login. Then if you look at your email, it's there, Abby.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you can see your date joined is there, Abby.
Yes.
Yes.
Is the person active? The active is yes, Abby.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
It's
the
one
person
that's there.
yes? 1 means yes, 0 means no in database.
Okay.
Yes. Is super user is showing 1, Abby?
Yes. That there
Yes.
is one super user.
No, it should that 1 means
Yes.
super. Yes, exactly. So if you notice, if all these things are showing yes, yes, but why is that staff showing 0?
Mm.
So what I want to explain to you guys, for you to log in as a super user, you must have these 3 permissions, 1, 1, 1. So your is active 1, is staff 1, is super user 1. Do we understand?
Yes.
Do you
Okay.
understand?
Wait. I have a question. Is active, is staff, is super user? What if there is no figure in one of the 3 and there is one in that avatar?
Avatar does not have anything to do with logging in or logging out. It's just a
That
picture.
one is image. Okay.
That one is just image. But things that matter is this is
Is
staff
active, is staff, is
whatsoever.
super user.
All right. So let's go back to our manager. So please go back to your manager.
Okay.
I'm taking you guys through this rigorous step so that you understand what is going on. So please maximize your screen, STC.
Okay.
So STC, take us to that. Look at line 22 in your managers.
Okay.
Yes. So if you notice that 23 says extra fields does set default is super user true.
True. Yes.
So we're supposed to do the same thing for the staff. So just
Okay. So we
copy line 23. Everybody do what STC is doing.
is
Copy
it just line 23 or everything?
just line 23. Just line 23.
Okay.
Copy line 23. Then paste it under line 23. So that will be your line 24. Then change that supervisor to his staff.
Copy line 23 and paste it where line 20.
4. Just copy the line, paste it below. Then instead of the super user in 2 places, one is the super user, second one is his staff.
It will be indented or not indented.
Just look at STT screen indented. The same way you have that extra field or set default is super user true. Do the same thing for his staff, just exactly underneath. So now that you've done this, for the sake of this class, create in another super user. Let's see whether that new user will be able to log in. You know, this first
Still
one did not have,
using
still using
yes.
Python mind or create super user. Just create a new person. Just put
Okay.
any
I'll
email once.
okay. I should use Python manage.py create super user.
Exactly. We just want to see that now that we've added this update, will the person now be able to log in? We want to see that, oh, now that I've made that correction, can the person actually now log in? That's what we want to achieve.
Okay. It's bringing in.
All right.
Can we use our former email?
No, now that guy is created already. Emails are unique, remember. So you can't use the same email. Just you can create one a.gmail.com. You just want to make sure now that I've added this new stuff is working. Then run server.
Already okay.
Yeah, so as you see, you just run server. I'm looking at your screen. So I want you to copy that email that you put. Let's test and see whether that supervisor can log in. So, or if you remember the email, you just type it when you get to your admin. So go to your admin. All right. All right. So please, everybody, try and log in with the new super user you just created. We want to make sure after adding that update that is working.
And password is also unique to the person, each and every one.
You can
So we
use the
can't
same
use the former
password.
password too.
You can. Passwords are never unique now. When you're hashing them, if everybody will use the same password, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
They're all being hashed, so you will know. So as you see, have you noticed you're able to log in now?
Yes.
All right. I just want you to understand how that manager was working.
I'm
So
having
you
an
added,
issue.
All right, Victor, please share your screen. So STT,
Sir, the former one that we created, can
yeah,
I use it to log in into the admin panel?
you cannot
Like
use
the
it.
first one,
Okay, the
we
first
cannot
one
use
you
it
created.
again. Yes,
No, you want to try and use the first one, Abby?
yes, like this is the first email that the first one I did.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, if you want
the
to do
one
it,
that I wasn't able to log in.
yes. So if you want to do it, you first of all need to make that user show in this your admin panel. So when you now
Oh,
click on that particular user, go and set his staff to true for the guy.
oh,
So while you're doing
okay,
that, please let Victor share his screen.
okay, sir.
All right. So Victor, please share your screen. Let me help you out. For that means have you created a new user?
Yeah, sure.
After
So the person
after I created a super user,
okay, Victor, I'm with you.
this
What
was
happened
after I
after you created?
created. This is what it brings.
Is the
This is how
spelling
it
of
goes.
your staff? Is the spelling of your staff? Is double F. Go to your
Okay.
VS Code.
Okay, I can.
Yeah. So like 24 Victor, yes, double F. That's all. So now try and create another super user.
I'll
So that
create another
means
super user again.
yes, that one was testing. I wanted to show you to not work unless you have those three things set to yes, yes, yes.
Yes, I've created. That's what bring me here. That the staff is an error. So
Yes,
I have to create another one again, or the previous one I used.
you have to create another one.
Uh,
That email has gone like you don't need to think too far. Just write a@gmail.com, then use the normal password you've been using. I just want to show you that if those three things are set to one, that's only when you can log in. That's the essence of this process I'm going taking you through. So you can be Victor A, just something, just add one thing that'll make it different. That's all to go. Then put your password, put your second password. So like the media and STT, please go and register the user model in your admin so that you can see the two users are now
I've already
available.
done that.
All right. Okay. So Victor, we are using Victor Samson at gmail.com. So let's go to admin and try and register and log in with that person. So remove this email that is here. Type Victor Samson, the one you just use. Victor Samson at gmail.com. All right. Then put your password. I log in. Can see it has worked, have you?
yeah. But I
So
didn't see any user here.
yes. Go and register your users in your admin panel so it will show. Go to your admin.py file. Register the user. Nice. Remember, it's the spelling of your model. So check your model. Is it small letter user as you called it? Check your models.py file. You call it class what? Like 12 class. Like 12 class
Class
what?
user. Class
See how the
user.
user. Yeah, so that's the type of user. Capital letter U S E R. No S. Capital letter U S E R. Then remember the shortcut I showed you. Put your cursor on. Yeah, put it on it. So I'm looking for that quick fix stuff. It's not bringing it down. Okay, brought it down.
It's making it.
Oh, yeah, the first one. Nice work, Victor. So reload your admin panel.
Okay, the user is visible.
No, like not here. Okay. Um, no. Your server is not running. Yes, run it. Enter, Victor. Enter your command prompt. Yes. Then go to your Chrome, your browser. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You should reload. So reload this page, let that user appear. So you can see it's there now, Abi. Click on the
Yes.
users. Click on the users. Let's see the people that are inside. So you can see there's Ozioma Victor Samson and there's Victor Samson.
Yes.
So you can, so from here, you guys look at Victor's screen. So as a super user, from here, you can go and make another person super user. So scroll down, Victor. So if you notice, look at active is check, super user status is check. So remaining staff status. So as the super user Victor, you can just click on staff status. Let this person have those three things. Then him too can now log into our new panel. So that's the
Okay.
beauty of a super user. You can make another person have the same authority as you.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
If you save now, this person has, you'll be able to log in with this Ozioma Victor Samson. Save. All right, then you log out. Look at log out at your far right. Log out. All right, now log in again, but use that Ozioma Victor Samson. That first one you tried. So put Ozioma in front. No, Ozioma is in front. Yeah. All right. Log in.
Wow.
So you see that person can now log in.
Yes.
So this is what happens in banking system, in fintech. The boss will just give you certain privileges back. Before you know, you can now log into certain things. This is what you are doing now. This is what you've just achieved. So are we all good, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I see people are growing muscle this back end. Your assessment this weekend. Your assessment this week is going to be sweet. I can feel it already. So we're done with extending Django's user model. We are done with that. Please try and practice during the week. I know it's festive season, I know there's holiday. So I think this is the best time to just try and remind yourself of everything so we don't forget. You get. So we're going to enter APIs today. So I'm sending the PDF now on the group chat. So once I send it, I'll start sharing my screen again. So where's the group chat? Here you are. So please check WhatsApp. I've sent both the PowerPoint presentation and PDF. So please check your WhatsApp on your laptop. I've sent you two materials. Introduction to API. So bye-bye to templates. We are now dealing with raw data.
Sir, is the two PDFs, are they same thing? Are they
It's the same thing. Yeah, same thing, different formats. One is PowerPoint, one is PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, that's same thing. So, introduction to APIs. Let me share my screen so that we can just be going through it together also. Okay. So, STT, question to you. You've heard of the word API before, have you?
Yes, sir.
You say yes or no?
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
Do you know what it is?
Not really.
Not really. Who wants to try what it is? I just need a rough idea. Like there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to know when you hear API, what do you think it is? That made you Victor STT. When you see API, you hear API, what do you think they are trying to say? What do you think it is? Is it a software? Is it a programming language? What do you think it is? All right. Nobody wants to answer, so I will leave it like that now. Abi. I can move on. Can I move on?
Yeah, I think it's like
What was the question?
yes, an API. I think Like it is what we are using to get our response.
All right. You see, you're not far from the answer. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use a real life scenario to explain certain things to us. Yeah. So all of us have been to a fancy restaurant before. So in a fancy restaurant, you enter, you sit down, then they bring you a menu. Now that menu is connecting you to the kitchen or the counter. You don't have access to the kitchen. It's the menu that allows you know what you can get from the kitchen. So an API is an interface, is an intermediary between two systems. You enter my shop, you want to know what I sell, I give you a menu. I'm a system on my own, I'm the seller. You're the buyer, but you don't have access to all the things I'm selling. So I will give you something. At that interface, that intermediary is an API. APIs connect two systems together. That's what an API does. That's its job. So when you go to eat somewhere, that waiter that comes out to meet you, hello, Dimitri, welcome to Prosper's restaurant. What would you like to have? That person is an intermediary between the kitchen and you. He's an API, it's acting as an API, it's acting as an interface. So APIs are systems, they are mechanisms that allow two systems to discuss with one another. Everyone in your homes now, bring out your phone. Everybody's with their phones, have you? Is everyone with their phone on this call? I need you guys to answer. Is everybody with their phones?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So
So please open weather app on your phone. Open weather app on your phone. Just click on the weather app on your phone. All right.
okay.
So your phone is a system on its own. Somewhere on the web, there's a place that stores information about weather. Now, when you clicked on that weather app, you clicking on it sent a request to the server that is holding weather. That server will check, hey, Oladimeji just clicked. Where is Oladimeji now? He is in OAU. Bam. What is the weather in OAU? Give it back to him. That is only possible because an API or things called APIs exist. They allow two complex systems to talk. I have built an e-commerce site and I want to add payment to it. There's a payment platform called Paystack, and I've built my project. I don't have power to start building my own payment gateway. I'm not start building something like Paystack from scratch. Instead, because there's something called an API, it will allow me to communicate with Paystack and say how fast someone wants to pay money for a product on my end. Please let them pay through you. These are only possible because of APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It allows two components or softwares to discuss with one another. For example, the Weather Bureau software system contains daily weather data. So somewhere on the web, they are storing data of today's weather. Now, the weather app on your phone talks to this system via APIs and show you daily weather updates on your phone.
Okay.
This is how APIs work. They allow two things to talk. Now, we're building as front-end developers. I mean, as back-end developers, rather. And we have people that are called front-end developers. When we're done building our own parts, how do we talk with one another? It's through APIs. So what you do as a backend developer now is you build APIs, you build endpoints. Then your front end guy consumes those things, he calls those things, he uses those things. And the beautiful thing about APIs is they are not only for web apps, so even mobile apps. Even mobile apps. All of you now, if you go on your phone and search for 44 Bookers, that's a mobile app my team and I built for a restaurant in Lagos State. And if you search on it on both iOS and Play Store, it's there. And that full mobile app is using APIs. So meaning what you guys are about to learn can allow you to build both mobile apps and web apps. Like you can now work with front end and mobile developers. So this is where if you were serious before, now it's time for you to get more serious. Because trust me, if this is the only thing you grab from this course, then you can start getting gigs, you can start going for internships, you can start building stuff. So APIs is going to be the only language we're speaking from now on. So the next question is, how do APIs work? So the best way to explain API architecture is in terms of client and server. The application sending a request is called the client. Your phone now that you picked that weather app is the client. It's the one making the request that how far, what is today's weather? Now the application sending the response is the server. So now when you go online as to Google, you are making a request. You go on Google and search what is a man. That is a request you've made on Google. That thing you are doing, the thing sending that request is called a client. Your phone is acting as a client. The web browser you are using is acting as a client. Now, Google is going to send you a response. The thing that sends the response is the server. So in that weather example I gave, the root weather database is the server, and your mobile application is the client. In the context of a restaurant, Oladimeji that is ordering the food is the client. The kitchen that is sending a response to that order, the people that are cooking based on what you ordered. All right. All right. So like I was saying, in the context of a restaurant,
Okay.
two people are going to communicate. We have the customer and the kitchen, but nobody will allow the customer go straight to the kitchen. So they need an intermediary, they need an interface that will connect the customer
Okay.
and the kitchen. And for some restaurants, they use waiters, some use menu. But that thing that is linking you, the customer, to the kitchen, that's an API, it's an interface, an intermediary that connects two people together, two systems together. So, like I was saying, in the context of Oladimeji going to Sheraton to eat, he is the one making a request that I want rice and chicken. So, Oladimeji is called the client. He's the one sending a request. He's the one requesting for something. Now, the kitchen that is going to give Oladimeji that response, that is going to give him that food, that is the server. So, the person that is sending a response is the server, and the person that is making a request is the client.
Fine.
Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
All right. SCC, is that clear?
Okay. Okay. Can we say a remitter? Do you know remitter?
Yeah, I know Remita.
Can we say remitter is an API?
Definitely now.
Okay.
Definitely. It's a payment gateway. And how do you call
Okay.
payment gateways? It's through API calls. So
Hmm.
when you learn how to build APIs or connect with APIs, from your app you can copy stack. For example, that was for Bookers app I'm speaking about. Our payments, we can't start, we don't have the money to now build our own payment gateway. Now when there's Paystack, there's Flutterwave, there's Stripe, there's PayPal, there's OP, Okash, and I stress myself and build my own. All I need to do is connect my system to Paystack system using an API, and that's all. Do we get it? So
Hmm.
because there are things called API, that's why two complex systems can talk with one another. So that's what APIs do. So we have four general types of APIs. If you check some articles, there are 8. If you check some, there are 3. If you check some, there are 5. But these are the four general types. So the first one we have is something called SOAP APIs, Simple Object Access Protocol. So this one, the client and the server, they exchange messages in a format called XML. This is not for us. This was in the past, during like the 2000s. That's when it used to be popular. SOAP APIs, the 1990s, 2000s. It's a less flexible API that was more popular in the past. So if somebody says, can you build a SOAP API, Simple Object Access Protocol? That's what it means. It's an acronym. All right. Then we have RPC APIs, Remote Procedure Calls. So the client is going to finish a particular procedure on the server. So I go On
Your voice is breaking.
should be network. I'm never moving. Is it clearer now?
Okay, yes, sure.
Maybe I should speak louder. So the next one is RPC APIs, remote procedure calls. So basically, this one is I'll make a request to the server. The server, I'm going to be on that server, finish everything I want to do, find out get my response. I'm just showing the way all of them operate. They are just operating differently. For one, the format is XML. We receive information XML, we return information XML. That's so. RPC is that we're going to spend time there. The client must complete a function. Your phone must complete a function. Your request must be completed fully before you can get an output back. Then the most complex one, I would say is the most complex one, is WebSocket. How many of us have ever heard WebSocket before? WebSocket API. How many of us have heard of WebSocket before? Has anyone heard of WebSocket before?
No, 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 no. It's only REST I've heard of before.
Okay. So WebSocket APIs allow two-way communication. So every other API is give and take. So Oladimeji will first make a request before he can receive a response. But WebSocket APIs allow Oladimeji to send a request and receive a response at the same time. Do you know how complex that is? Who can tell me? Just think. So I always encourage my students for the next 1 minute, think of a system that updates automatically. Is there any app you use that updates automatically without you refreshing it? That changes without you refreshing it? Just think. Two-way communication. There are two of you can send in and receiving at the same time. Just think.
See,
They are common
like
examples.
WhatsApp.
STT, thank you. Your chat application. You never need to refresh your WhatsApp. I can be messaging STT, she's sending me a message at the same time. There's a two-way communication because of WebSocket APIs. That's two-way communication. Those of us that have gone to all these sites where we check dollar rates or people that bet, all those odds are changing on the fly. You're not the one reloading that page. The odd is changing by itself. The cash out is changing by itself. The prices of things are changing. You want to book flights. You can check it around 2 o'clock. It was 60,000. You don't need to refresh the page. By the time you come back, bro, it can enter some 7,000 because there's a two-way communication. The client is constantly sending a request and the server is constantly sending a response. Those of us that have been to a bet shop before, all those odds, if you're looking at it, even if you go to betnigeria.com now, you can be looking on the screen. You'll be seeing one thing is 1.77. Just look front, look back. It has changed to 1.75. It's changing real time. Do we get? So all those things are possible because of WebSockets. So your chat application that encourages two-way communication, they obey the WebSocket. They're using WebSocket API, and it's very complex to. I'm telling you, I think I've built only 3 WebSockets. I've worked on only 3 projects that have WebSockets, and anytime I do WebSockets like this, I'm like, see stress because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Hope we'll be talking about all the four.
No, check your curriculum. It's not possible to talk about the 4. You want to talk about the 4 is a full year's course.
So which one are we talking about here? REST.
Rest. I'm just explaining what each one needs so that you know which one is being applied. So
Okay.
that's WebSockets. So WebSockets, they are complex. They are very good, especially for large-scale projects. Then we now have REST APIs. So
Why is it
REST,
that your curriculum choose REST and leave WebSockets?
I'm not in charge of that.
Okay.
I'm not in charge of that. But like REST APIs is the standard for web applications and mobile applications. So they are the most popular and most flexible APIs around the world. If you check any Django developer job, if you check the skills, you must see either Django REST framework or REST APIs because
Yeah,
REST
sure.
is being used. So this is an API standard that allows us to send requests to the server as data. The server will not check all those things we sent, then give us a and output data, give us back a response. So it's more or less the server is waiting for us to send something to it. Once we receive those things, it now give us the appropriate response. So it's still following that your request response cycle. The difference is your data is being your data is being returned in a format. And REST API uses a format called JSON. We'll see that later. So REST API stands for
So
REST.
if you want to build a chat app, you cannot use a REST API. You can only use
No,
the
you
socket.
can only use WebSockets. You can't use, the reason is if you are using REST APIs, you have to reload. So meaning if you message me, I have to reload before I see your new messages. And chat applications don't work that way. You don't need to refresh WhatsApp. It's supposed to be
Yes.
two-way. So you can never use REST to build chat application unless you're using things like Ajax and the rest. Do you get?
So can you use that WebSocket to build a web app?
Definitely. But it's, so everything has
It will
where
be
they are very strong in. It's complex. So why am I doing something complex for just a
okay.
web app? Do you get?
Okay.
Everything here you can use it to do.
Okay.
Every language, anything you're learning, just open your mind that you can do everything. But everything has where it's king. We have where it's Baba. Do you get? Every car can take you
Yes.
from point A to B, but they are sports cars. It's not that other cars cannot take from point A to B, but when it comes to speed, these guys are the king. They are luxury cars. They take it to point A to B, but the comfort you enjoy is more in luxury cars. So everything is still a car. So see that everything is still API, but when it comes to chats, when it comes to two-way communication, leave it to WebSocket. When it comes to normal return request response cycle, REST APIs are the best. So that's how it is. So REST is
Okay.
an acronym for representational state transfer. REST is an acronym for representational state transfer. That's the meaning of REST, interview question. So tell us about REST APIs. Okay, thank you. So REST is an acronym for representational state transfer. The person already knows this guy is about to make sense. Representational state transfer. Without looking at your screen, someone should remind me of SOAP APIs. Without looking at the screen, today is Sunday, be honest to yourself. SOAP, who wants to tell me the meaning of the acronym?
You're asking? Okay. The meaning of SOAP API.
Yes, without looking at the screen, do you remember? Not the meaning of, not
Was
like, don't explain the API to me. Just that SOAP, the acronym. What's the full meaning?
simple object access protocol. Shebi.
Nice. What of RPC?
We have WebSockets. We have the RPC.
Yeah, full meaning of RPC.
Remote procedure calls. Shebi. Yes. Remote procedure
Alarm
calls.
photographic
This is not
memory.
today that I'm here. This is not today I'm
Okay,
hearing this theory.
okay, you've
Not
made
today.
research. You've heard about them before.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, all right,
Uh,
all right. So you're in the right place because you're going to learn how to build them, work with them, integrate them into other systems. So the main feature of REST APIs is statelessness. So statelessness means the server is not saving data permanently. The essence of this is to ensure security and always ensure that you are using the app is safe. So for example, imagine if your bank app never logs out. Have we all thought about it? Imagine
hmm.
your bank app never logs out. Or why is it your bank app
Something
logs out? Even when you
something
minimize
like
it.
something like Palmpay. That have never log out like on time. Palmpay.
So for
I don't know.
real bank apps, even when you minimize it, after 5 seconds of 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes of inactivity, you are logged out because
Yes.
there's something called statelessness. It's not saving you permanently on the system. It's not saying that this your login as if login is forever login. No. After 3 minutes, Baba, if you're not doing anything, please go out. Do we get? So
Yes.
statelessness means the server is not saving your data between requests. So it's not like keeping your data. No. Every request you're making is fresh data. And once you give about that response, it does not keep that data you sent again. So clients request to the server are similar to URLs you type in your browser to visit a website. The response from the server is plain data without the typical graphical render of a web page. This just explains the difference between the data you get from REST API and the data you get from where we've been doing /new/all. When we go to all those /news, it's returning a template, it's returning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, what we are going to get returned is plain data. And by plain data, I mean JSON format. We'll see JSON formats today. So benefits of REST API. The first one is integration. So like I said, with the existence of APIs, you can integrate existing systems or platforms into your own. So I ask you guys, build an e-commerce site. When you've done everything, you can easily integrate Paystack as your payment platform because of REST APIs. So one of the key advantages or benefits is integration. It allows you to integrate your new application with existing software systems. So you can easily bring PayPal into your platform, bring Stripe, all those payments gateways. You can easily integrate them into your own application because of APIs. There's innovation. So there's a role or there are jobs or there are people that their job is just to build APIs and people go online to buy it from them. There are developers that just build
Okay.
APIs. People go online, buy that API or use the API and be paying, they subscribe to it. So for example, if I want to build a weather app, so or anything that validates phone number or NIMSI, I'll just have to pay for NIMSI's API. And anytime somebody uses my platform, when the person sends me his or her NIN, I'll go to that platform, check is this NIN legit? If it's legit, tell the person it's legit. If it's not legit, let me know. So the advent of or the invention of API has improved innovation. So me now as a developer in my house, I can build a virtual top-up API. So I can build a platform where people can easily load credits, buy debit, buy credits, pay for bills, pay for DSTV, recharge, and all those things. Because APIs exist, so innovation is limitless because you can now connect to other systems easily. Do we get that? Then
Yes,
expansion,
sir.
then ease of maintenance. I know the slide is a lot of talking, but I'm just trying to explain why APIs are important, especially REST API. So in slide 9, we're done with the general introduction of APIs. So now I want to look at Django's points of APIs. So in Django, there's a special package or framework that is used for creating APIs, and it's called Django REST Framework. Django uses something to create APIs. It cannot do it by itself. It's not built for APIs by itself. So Django engineers came up with a framework. They came up with something that was born from Django. They came up with something that resembles Django, and it's called Django REST Framework. And its duty is to create web APIs. So meaning once we start doing APIs, we'll be doing pip install Django and pip install Django REST framework because now I want to start working with APIs. So Django REST framework is a package that makes APIs come to pass, that make APIs real, exist. Django REST framework is the name of the package. All right. Now there are two formats that data is going to be translated in when working with these REST APIs. There are two formats that is expected. Is either that data is coming in as JSON format or as XML. But most platforms, at least 95% of every platform uses JSON. Some of you must have seen JSON data before. You see JSON. Those of you that have done front end, you see JSON. JSON, JSON data. Those of us that have done JavaScript, you know JSON. So those of us that have done front end, you know JSON. Those of us that have read books, tutorial, So JSON is a format for data. Then we also have XML, hypertext markup. Okay, no, that's HTML. XML, JSON. These are formats for transmitting data. So you can either send data as JSON or receive data as JSON. So your duty now as a Django developer is any data you get from Python, you do post the object.all. It gives you all the posts in that platform. You need to convert those things into either JSON or XML. I'll take that again. When working with APIs, when you get data from the database, post the object.all, news the object.get ID equals to 1, you've gotten your news, you've gotten your posts. You can't return that data when working with APIs. API will not understand what is post the object.all. No. You need to convert that data to a format that APIs will understand. So the format you're converting it to is either JSON or XML. Now, the process of converting that data, the process of changing that data from Django's data or Pythonic data into JSON or XML is called serialization. All this grammar, you're not cramming it. Once we start from now, at least I know we'll do APIs till we graduate this class. So trust me, in 4 weeks, 3 weeks time, you understand everything that is on this slide. It will make sense to you. But the process of changing data from Django's format or Pythonic format to JSON or XML is referred to as serialization. All right. So JSON
Right,
stands.
sir.
Are you saying something?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right. So JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. There are some key terms here, blah, blah, blah. I want us to write code quickly. Let's just work with APIs quickly. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So quickly, guys, let's start. You can still see my screen, Abby.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So let everyone, please, let's code along. We'll just do one example and we're done. So let's start a new project for APIs. CD documents, make directory. You can call it API class 1 so that from now on, I'm saying class 2, class 3. I don't know whether that's better for us. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So API class 1. So that means next week's class will be API class 2. Activate my virtual environment. All right. So for the first time, we're going to install 2 packages at the same time. Before it's only Django we've been doing, but now we're big boys, so we can now install 2 things. So we also install Django REST framework. Remember, that's the name of the package. So if you want to install 2 things at the same time, or 3 things, or 1 million things at the same time, you just say pip install, then all the things you want, but separate them by space. I'll say that again. If I say install Django and Pillow in your virtual environment, some of us will first do pip install Django. We'll wait for it to finish, then now do pip install Pillow. But I'm telling you that you can install 2 of them at the same time. Just say pip install Django space, then Pillow. So to know you want to first install Django and install Pillow too. So if you look at this example, I want to install 2 packages now. So pip install Django and Django REST framework. So I'm installing both Django and Django REST framework. Then enter. Pip install Django and Django REST framework.
Please scroll up.
So do we have to install our virtual environment?
Yes, you must set up a virtual environment.
So can you scroll up? Scroll up.
All right. So I created it first. This is why I created a virtual environment. Then I activated it.
pip install.
pip install Django and space the second package you want. In our case, is Django REST framework. So that's how you install two things at the same time.
Mhm.
So are we done with that? Pip install Django and Django REST framework.
Yes. Yes,
All
sir.
right. So start the project. Me, I'm tired of names, so I'll just call it projects. So the exact same thing we did.
Are we going to pip install Django before we?
No, Victor, see, at the same time, pip install Django, then space Django REST framework. You're installing two
Okay.
things at the same time. Don't do it one by one.
Can you do it one by
Okay.
one?
You can, but I'm saying that this is a faster way. Instead of doing pip install Django, you wait, let it finish. Then now do pip install Django REST framework. You can just do pip install Django space the next one you want to install.
Jare, I'm in class. What is going?
Victor, who is disturbing in that place? So start your project, call the project, then you seed into it, then you start an app called user. STT, you're quiet. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm seeing.
Alright. Do you remember the new way of creating app? The second way I showed
App.
us.
You said Python manage.py start app process.
Alright, thank you. Alright, start app users. So start a project called project, you seed into it, then you start an app called users. Okay? So that's how we do it. So that's how we do it.
So we seed into project and you do what?
Then you start your app.
So we should do what? Code space dot.
Code space dot, yeah. So open it on
Yeah.
VS Code. So right here. All right. So the very first thing is to register your app. Remember.
Okay.
So that's our users
The
app.
user.
Okay. Then you need to also register REST framework. So when you want to install the thing that helps you build APIs in Django, is pip install Django REST framework. When you want to add it to installed apps, it is REST underscore framework. So if you look at my screen, there are two apps I've added. So the one for users, which is one we created, then this REST framework. So Django now knows, oh, it's API stuff we're doing. REST framework. So register your users app, then rest underscore framework. So this is how everything we need from now on. Every time we'll be adding REST framework to install apps. Every time adding REST framework to install apps. Once you're working API. So you install it as Django REST framework, no space. But when you want to add it here, it is REST underscore framework. So this is our users app. I just want to show us how to serialize data and how the data will look like, and that is all. So the very first thing is to create an app called serializers.py. This is where you build that thing that will be converting from Django into API format, into JSON format. So please, in your users app, create a new file called serializers.py. 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 Then enter. So create a new file called serializers.py. Serializers.py. Inside your users app, create a new file called serializers.py. Okay. Then we'll type in, we'll first of all import the serializer from where it is. So from REST framework, import serializers. Then the model we want to serialize. With that part to build model, so we'll just serialize our normal Django model. Okay. I want to create the serializer called the user serializer. Serializer. Model user fields. So let's just realize the person's name, maybe email. So please type what's on my screen. So inside of serializers.py file, please type what is on the screen.
My REST framework is bringing error, is bringing underline score.
It's bringing what?
It's bringing yellow line under.
All right. You share your screen now. Once everybody's done typing.
Sir.
Yes, it's still on you.
Why are we using from the Django.contrib.alt.models? Why are we not using .models straight?
And you know, the models is that we've created our own model, our own user model.
Yes.
Yeah, but because of time, like we're not creating our own model, so I just using Django's one.
Okay.
Like all those ones that we've been creating it ourselves. So
Yes.
there's no time to build our own model. So let's just use this one that is here. I just want to show you how to serialize data.
Oh. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, so are we done typing?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Victor, are you still having the issue?
Yes.
All right, so please, Victor, share your screen quickly. Can you zoom in? Sorry. Okay. So I think the issue is your virtual environment. But let me confirm first. Go to your settings.py. Okay, so you've added it here. That's correct. So go to your bottom right. Look at that 3.9.0. Can you see bottom right of VS Code? Bottom right, down, 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 by the right hand side, down, right hand side of the VS Code. Right hand side, the other side. Can you see 3.9.0? Click on that project EMV. No, right hand side. The last thing by the right hand side. No, you don't have to minimize. It's looking at us. After that Python there, see 3.9.0 that has brackets project EMV.
I'm coming, sir.
Okay.
I'll click on it.
Okay. So click on enter interpreter parts. Enter interpreter parts. After the click on it. Click on find. Yeah, click on it. Okay. So if you look up, wait. If you look up, you see project up. I see project.
Yes.
Click on the first project. Yes, that one. Yes. Click on API class 1. API class 1 here up. Click on your ENV, that folder, that ENV folder. Yes, click on it. Open it. Click on it. Up. Like double click on it, Papa. The ENV. Click on scripts, inside scripts. Double click on it. Click on that Python in the middle. Python. Click on Python. Click on it.
This one?
Yes. Then click on select interpreter. The thing down. No. No, come out of here. Not here. Just click outside. See select interpreter. Down. Select interpreter. See, it is looking at you now, Victor. Before cancel, look at it. The button before
define name, define.
Yeah, click on select interpreter. All right. So taking back to your serializers, you can see
It's working already. Yeah.
So the issue was VS Code was not using the right virtual environment. So it always try and guess. So sometimes it gets it, sometimes it does not. So that's why we're having that error. So we went to go and manually tell it where to get the right virtual environment from. So that's what we just did. Okay. So I'll go back here. All right. So this is a serializer that we've created. Before you create a serializer, you must first import the serializers, the module, the general one. You import it from REST framework because REST framework that contains serializers. Then the model you want to serialize, the model you want to turn into raw data. So we're using this Django's user model. So I've created a serializer. If you notice, to create model, class model, to create a model from class whatsoever. So class is a keyword we use when we want to create certain entities. So to create a serializer now, we're using class. What is the name of that serializer? It is called user serializer. That is the guy's name. Then where is it coming from? Or which type of serializer it is? It is serializer.model serializer. Remember, we've done something like this when we're doing form, model form. That you say class, user form, forms.model form. So basically what I'm saying in line 5 is create a serializer called user serializer, and it's going to be a model serializer. So whenever you say something is going to be a model, it means you want to build from an existing model. You don't start from scratch. Remember when we're doing that form for creating products, that you say class products form. Then once you put in a model, it will go and pick all those fields that the model has and apply it to the form. That's what we're doing here. That's bro. We don't want to start from scratch. Just help us with this user model. This is the model we want to turn into a new format. So when you specify the model, the next thing is it all the whole field you want me to serialize? Remember when I showed you guys this stuff? Allow me to remember this one. So this is if I want to serialize all the fields of the user model. If I want to convert the first name, last name, email, everything, I want to turn it into another format. I'll use this all. But if I want to specify the fields I want, this is it here. So I've created serializer. So the very last thing is to create the API view. So API views are like our normal view. I'll show you guys the difference. So please code along with me. Okay. Let me text.
Okay.
All right. So from REST framework.decorators, import API view. API view. Yeah. Next. Let me zoom out a little. All right. Okay, so this is what we're typing.
Sir,
Yes,
they just took off our lights, so now I have to use my phone.
hey, sorry about that. All right. What we're done with this is just to view the URL and that's all.
Okay,
Sorry
sir.
about the lights. NEPA did not do holiday for you people. So we use a let me do okay. All right. So please let's type. Or
Please,
should I
can
say?
you go back to your serializer.py?
All right.
Yeah.
Victor, this is it. Let me. Were you done typing the views?
No.
All right. I'm sending now on WhatsApp. I'm sending on WhatsApp.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Please go to your view.
Okay.
Please go to your view. That's the reason I don't want to. I don't want to copy Jaren. Okay.
All right, Victor, I'm waiting for you. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So please let's pay attention to this new thing we're seeing for the first time. Okay. So every other time that we've been working, we've never done something like this. This is what we're used to. The view that is designed to receive a request. Then after that, it will now give a response. That's what we're used to. Now you are dealing with raw data, so you must be specific. What I mean by specific is what kind of request is the server expecting? Is the person sending data into the server? If you're sending new data into the server, what kind of request is that?
If you are
I always give you options.
if you are say I don't want I don't get your
Yeah,
question.
I'll explain. Now, STT is trying to sign up on WhatsApp. She has filled that form online. The moment she hits send, what kind of request will it show on the server? Will it show get? Will it show put? Will it show post? Will it show delete?
It puts that should be
So that means is that your final answer?
it is okay to miss the question. May I pick my option to be put.
That's okay. So yours is put. Okay, I like that script for that to use. STT. Somebody is trying to sign up newly on your platform. What kind of request is the person making? Is it a post request, get a put request, or a delete request?
Post.
All right, Victor. Somebody wants to sign up on Victor at gmail.com. What kind of request is the person making?
Post.
Post. All right. So the post people have it. When you're sending new information into a server, you're sending something fresh, you're sending something new, you're sending something that did not exist before. That is a post request. If you are trying to retrieve information from the server, that is a get request. If you are trying to update an information that was on the server, that is a put request. And obviously, delete is obviously delete. So you need to specify what kind of request this view is expecting. So we use something called a decorator. So this is how you decorate an API view. It takes a list. If you look at this definition, it says it takes a list of allowed methods for the view as an argument. So me putting this thing like this is telling this guy that the only thing you should cater to is that somebody goes to you just to retrieve information. So if somebody sends a post request to this guy, it will not work. So that's this first line telling me that people are going to come here to get information from you, and your duty is to handle only get. If I wanted to handle both get and delete, I'll say get, then comma, delete. So to be able to handle both retrieval and deletion. But I'm saying no, I want you to just handle get. So I can leave this guy like this. So the very first thing is what I used to get me all the users on our platform. So that's line 10. Retrieve all the users on our platform. So user.object.own, then store it in this variable called users. Now, I told us from the beginning that you can't return your normal Django data back in an API. You can't return your normal Python data back in an API. You have to convert it to a format called JSON. And the process of converting it is serialization. So I want to convert these users that is storing all the users in my database to a format that my front-end engineer can see and consume, that I can see and understand, that I can see and have access to it. So in line 11, I'm using that serializer that we built, this guy here. I'm using this serializer to convert all the users here. So I'm saying user serializer on all these users. I'm applying this user serializer. I'm saying this user serializer apply it to all these users on our platform. Then I'm adding a condition called many equals to true. This condition is very important because without it, your serializer is designed to convert one object at a time. But if you have more than one object to call, the serializer will not break down. It will not say, sorry, I have to do one at a time. So you must add this argument called many equals to true. This will tell the serializers, okay, plenty people are coming on. Expect plenty people to be converted. So work fast with them, know what to do. If I don't put this many equals to true, it will tell me that, oh, I have to do one by one. It cannot realize two people at a time. But because it has many equals to true, it's now knowing or expecting a large amount of users. Then the last thing is to return a response. Before we've been rendering templates, return render
Mm.
request in actual template. Now it's raw data, so it's a response you're giving. Remember, the thing sending the response is the server. So look at it. I'm making a request, I'm getting a response. So you're no longer doing all those fine stuff. It's strictly request response. So once the person sends a request, in the response, return the serialized users. What do you want to get from the serialized users? The raw data. Dot data. I want to get the raw data from those users. So at the moment, do we have any user on our platform? Do we? This new project we started, do we have any user already?
No.
So please let's all just create one super user quickly so that it will serialize this user. So just quickly create a super user, please. So Python and py create super user. Just so that we'll have somebody in the database. Okay, we've not yet. Okay, so I'm getting this error, no such table auth user. I think Victor had it during the week. So because we've not yet made migrations and migrated. So you don't need to make migrations because we've not created any model. So it's Django stuff that are there. So you just need to migrate straight. But if you want to make migrations, you can do it. But to tell you no changes detected. So I migrate straight because I didn't actually create any model. Then I can create a super user. So Prosper, put my email. I just want us to have somebody's data. So you see how serialization works at gmail.com. So please create a super user. So I've created mine. So please create a super user quickly. I'm waiting for you guys.
You should just migrate direct.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is bringing manage.py line 22 of the modules in the modules.
Is this something you want to debug? I should help you out.
Just check it, manage.py. That one that I copied.
Victor, have you created a super user?
Yeah, I've created a super user.
All right.
Okay. Start Prosper, come and look at this.
All right. No module name user. Check is your installed apps now. Online media and this error. Look at the name of your app. What did you call it? Yeah, this error. All right, that's all. So create the super user. So if we're done creating the super user, let's go to our URL and call this view. So I'll go to my project URLs. So go to your URLs of PY file. Say when the person goes to maybe slash users, to take the person to record the view all users. All right. So this is the new line I just added in your project URLs of PY file. So add that file in your project URLs of PY file.
So I've created a super user. So
Yeah. So go to your project URLs of PY file and add this line.
okay, URL. Why is it that the slash is not at the front? Is at the back?
Sorry, error. Thank you.
Okay, done.
You're done, Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody
Wait, you are putting a comma
where?
at the front of that part, that URL.
You come away.
Like at the front of that, the second part, you are not meant to put a comma. Shey?
Share here.
I mean the line 24.
You must put a comma here now.
I mean at the end of the
Okay, no,
bracket.
yeah. This one is not necessary. Thank you. All right. So if I go to 127 slash users, I think it's users
Users,
because
users,
make sure your
yes.
server is running. So mine is not running. So run your server. So now that my server is running, let me reload. Let's see. So if you reload your screen, you should be getting this. If you're not getting this, you'll be wrong. So STT, this is JSON data. You can see how the data looks. It's nothing fancy, it's just plain. But as it is now like this is what a front-end engineer wants to see from you.
Adijat's screen used to bring this thing.
No, not this.
I'm having an issue.
All right. Vladimir, is your screen showing this?
No.
Are you having an issue? Victor, you can share. Victor, you can share your screen. All right, so Victor, let's go to your serializers.py file. Go to your serializers.py file. See the spelling of your user serializers. Remember, it's always how you type it. So you're not wrong, but you call your own user serializers. So go to your views. Go to your views. So that means you must call it exactly what you call it. So in line 4, that serializer, your own, you have S added to it, user serializers. So add S at the back. No, not this, the last one, the users, no. Put back the S that is there. Yes, then put S here. Yes, put S there. Then line 13, put the S too.
Sir, sorry, sir.
Yes, SCT.
I'm about to go off, so I want to let you know.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Once all of them have the same screen as mine, we're done.
Okay. Goodbye, sir.
Yeah, take care. So Victor, open a new tab. Go to 127 blah blah slash t slash or slash users rather. Slash users, yes, users. Okay, so take me to your serializers.py. You made a mistake there. Let's see. So
I'm having an error
your
here
username and
stating
email.
that cannot import name all users from users.views.
I'll come in. I'm allowed to. So Victor, your username, you open
Service.
quote at U. You forgot to end it at E. So username after E, no, line 8 is where the error is coming from. Field is equals to, you open quotes for the username, forgot to close the quotes for the username.
Okay.
No, line 8, line 8. That's where the mistake is from. So
Yeah.
yes, that you've opened the quote for username, close it. So go to where E is for the username. Yes, close the quote. Do another double quote. Thank you. Then do the same thing for email. Put the beginning one for email. Yes. Then now go and reload your page. Reload this guy. All right. So you've got to see your API response. So that image, please share your screen. Okay. So what is yours saying? Can I punish all users? So that means take me back to your views. Take me to your views.
I don't think I have anything I do. Okay, this is
See,
it.
exactly. So you call your own all user or like image. The name of your view is all user. Line 10. You call it
19,
all
okay.
user. So
Okay.
whatever you call it is what you call it in your URLs. Look at, you call it all user. You're not wrong, but just any name you call it here is what you call it in another file. That's it. So just remove the S, all user. All right. So go to 127/users. All right.
Okay.
So settle, Abby.
Yes. So we don't need templates to have our users. Don't use template
No,
at all.
you're not using templates. You're not using template at all.
So this is the 200 you are talking about yesterday.
Yeah, the status code.
Hmm.
That's status code there.
Okay, what is the point of this getting this user out?
If your front end guy wants to get the username and email from the back end, this is what you will give him. Then he'll be able to get the username and email. This is just a raw data response.
Right. All right.
All right, Oladimiji, thank you for joining. I'll send an assessment during the week. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Stop recording.
Yeah, I'm doing that right